Incredible reporting as always. Joining me now, retired Major John Spencer, chair of Urban Warfare Studios at the Modern War Institute. Thanks so much for joining us on this. We appreciate it. A few things that I want to tick through, and I first want to start out kind of with an analysis of the Russian military, right? Want to bring up some numbers here, comparing the Russian military to the Ukrainian military. And I think the obvious truth here is that the Russian military completely outnumbers the Ukrainian military. One of the reasons in which initial intelligence assessments stated it was about 48 hours for the Russian military to overtake the capital city. 8 days in, that obviously hasn't happened. We've been taking a look at those satellite images of that convoy for some days now, and they still have not been able to take control of the capital city. Here's what the New York Times says about the Russian military. A significant number of the Russian troops are young conscripts who are poorly trained and ill-prepared for the all-out assault. And in some cases, Russian troops have deliberately punched holes in their vehicles' gas tanks, presumably to avoid combat, plagued by poor morale as well as fuel and food shortages. Did Vladimir Putin overestimate his own military here?
Absolutely. Those big numbers mean nothing to me. I was served 25 years in the Army, went to combat twice. The morale of the troops is everything. Their will to fight, let alone his incompetence. He actually attempted an invasion plan a la, the invasion of Iraq, what the West can do. Clearly, he underestimated the capability of his forces and what he could do. And so now he's changed his strategy.
The question, though, is, and I've been asking this question all week now, how long Ukrainian forces can hold them off. Hence, one of the reasons why they keep asking for this no-fly zone, because they feel eventually as if the Russian military will overtake them. How long, in your estimation, do you feel as if the Ukrainian military and Ukrainian civilians who are taking up arms can hold off the Russians?
Based on my experience of studying urban warfare, this isn't open terrain warfare. As you can all, those circles on the maps are all urban areas, and unfortunately they have civilians in them, so we got to get the civilians out. But of those resisting, with an urban-based strategy, they could hold out for months. And I'm not joking. Even in the Battle of Mosul 2016, we all watched it. Less than 5,000 terrorists with no military training held off 100,000 forces, a city cut off for 9 months. And this is not ISIS. These are motivated Ukrainian soldiers and civilians with the will to pay the ultimate price for their freedom.
You talk about urban warfare. I want to bring up a tweet that you put out with a map on it, talking about the underground and how the capital city, Kyiv, how Ukrainians aren't necessarily using the underground enough or adequately to combat the Russians. Here's what you say. The underground is a powerful resource for any urban defender. Kyiv and many Ukrainian cities has extensive underground networks. Kyiv should be using these for urban warfare. Tunnels are excellent to escape bombardments, store weapons, supplies, to surprise attack enemy forces. Can you expand on this for me?
Yeah, absolutely. So Russian doctrine is coming. They're just now showing it. Russian doctrine is to bomb cities into submission. I'm talking thousands of rounds. In the Battle of Grozny, when they suffered just a few casualties, they started bombing 30,000 rounds a day of artillery. That's about a round every 30 seconds for 24 hours. Anybody who's on the streets at this moment in a position needs to have an escape, a tunnel, a sewer, something to jump into, because in order to survive, they have to survive that initial bombing, which Russia will do when it gets closer. It's already doing it. So the tunnel is one of the most powerful tools in warfare in general. And it's just shown every time in history. And we see them in there, just like the bombing of London, the Blitz. We see them in the tunnels surviving, but they have to maximize them for military use as well.
Retired Major John Spencer, we thank you.